talk about spaghetti squash. It's coming into fall, and we're going to have a lot of squashes available at the market. Spaghetti, butternut, acorn, and these are fall squashes. So they act a little bit different. They're a little sturdier. They will actually keep a lot longer too in your house or in a cool spot. You actually don't even need to keep them in the refrigerator. To prepare spaghetti squash, you're going to need a very sharp knife with a point. You're going to stick it in the middle and then cut it in half. I've already cut mine, and this is what it looks like on the inside. There's a fairly large seed pocket, and we want to take the seed pocket out. And this would be the same if it was butternut or acorn or pumpkin. The seeds actually look a lot like a pumpkin seed. And you can actually go ahead and take these seeds as well and save them and plant them again next year. Or go ahead and clean them all off, add a little, soak them in a little salt solution and bake them in the oven for a little bit and let them dry. And you got like your own squash seeds instead of pumpkin seed. But these are all in the same family. Now spaghetti squash gets its name because when it cooks, it actually looks like spaghetti. See how nice and clean it is on the inside? At this point you can do a couple things. One, you can go ahead and put a little water in it, put a plastic over it, saran wrap, and you can go ahead and put it in the microwave. It will work in the microwave, but it takes, you have to really watch it because it can dry out. The best way to cook a spaghetti squash is in the oven. We're going to slip it in the oven. We're going to put foil over the top of it, and we're going to cook it in the oven for 40 minutes at 350 degrees. Now, this side here will keep a couple weeks in your refrigerator. We're going to cover it with saran wrap. You really want to take the seed pocket out first and then put it in the refrigerator. Or you can go ahead and cook both of them. This freezes well. So if you want to cook both of them up, you can freeze half of it and eat half of it. Or if you want to eat it fresh, you can. So we're going to slip this in the oven for 40 minutes. And let me show you what it looks like when we come back out. Okay, the spaghetti squash just finished baking. You want to check it periodically with a fork like you would a potato. Make sure that it's tender. I'm going to go ahead and take my spaghetti squash out of the oven, and it will be hot. So you want to use mitts, protect yourself. Alright. We're going to place this one face down in a pan. You can do it face up with foil on it. Either way, it works just fine. We're going to go ahead and you're going to need to handle this with a pair of mitts. It's going to be kind of squishy, I guess is a good word for it. Let me move this pan off to the side here. And the reason the spaghetti squash gets its name as spaghetti squash is because when you shred it, it actually looks like spaghetti. And all you do is take your fork and just bring it through and see how it looks a little bit like spaghetti. Get all this yumminess out of here. I got a piece of thing here. I'll get rid of that. The spaghetti squash is a good alternative if you have, can't have gluten. You don't want the noodles, but you still want to have that spaghetti type flavor to it. You can actually sometimes, don't tell the kids, just go ahead and do it. They may not even recognize the fact that it's a vegetable and not actually pasta. you'll see the skin at the bottom. And you'll know they got most of it out. And this makes quite a bit. Now spaghetti squashes do come in a variety of sizes. So even if you only wanted to do a quarter of a one, you could do that as well. You don't have to do a whole half one at one time. I think that's pretty much all of it. Alright, we have a nice plate of fresh spaghetti squash. Now, this is where you can get creative on your own. You can, at this point, add a little salt and pepper, and a little bit of bay leaf on it, a little bit of butter, not bay leaf, basil, and you can go ahead and add salt and pepper and oil. And call it good. You can do an Alfredo sauce. If you want to do an Alfredo sauce, you can do an Alfredo sauce. You can use some of our fresh tomatoes and add that with some onion and cook it down into a marinara sauce. Today I am coming home from work, so I used a canned jarred spaghetti sauce today because I'm out of spaghetti sauce that I usually can up myself. So all I'm going to do is, with this spaghetti squash, I'm going to add it, and we have some meatballs here that I had in the freezer. You can do that like this for a family meal, or go ahead and do it on individual plates, and they can choose what they want. Add a little bit of basil on top. As a garnish. Add a little bit more. I kind of like the taste of basil. And this smells, we just picked this morning, so it really smells good. Add a little bit of grated cheese, and you have dinner ready to go from our farm to your table.